No, like if you
Or someone
said like
who's
I just
like,
clarted her, that's what it means.
Do you know what's the worst one? You're going to die pumped.
Oh no, that is awful.
That is disgusting.
You know, only men come up with these things. On today's episode of Managed, I am so excited to have a TikTok sensation on my hands. We have the one and only Cheza Blonde. So Miss Cheza Blonde. For those who don't know you, your name is actually Reese.
Yes, that's correct. Like Witherspoon, I say to people.
But it's spelt different to Reese Witherspoon.
It is spelt differently to Reese Witherspoon. Do you know what is funny about my name? It is technically the boys' Welsh spelling. So that's a lot for people to get their head around, especially when I meet people in the club and I give them
I love that your name's Reese, because I think actually it is a unisex name, really. Maybe Reese Witherspoon did that, but...
Well, I don't know. I feel like I have actually met one or two other girl Reeses, which obviously is a big moment for me because it's like, oh my God, there's more than one, which is cool. But I am lucky that I never had to change my name after I came out as trans. Yeah, after transitioning. Yeah. So that is a good side of it. But you know, I was meant to be called... It was like Dan or Sam.
Sam is you could do both.
You could
those,
exactly.
So you could be Danny and you could be Sammy.
Wow, Sammy sweetheart.
Exactly. I've just lost my fucking page. Sorry.
Oh, no.
So for those who don't know you, you are a TikTok sensation.
Thank you.
You are one of the most known trans TikTokers. Yeah. Would you argue that is correct?
I would argue that is correct. Yeah.
So for anyone who doesn't know, we manage Cheza. I am not your direct manager, but I do have the privilege of spending a lot of time with her. She's always in trouble for something.
Yeah, I'm always in trouble for something. But I do see you a lot and speak to you a lot, considering you don't.
Yeah, and I think that's what people think would happen is if I don't manage them, that they wouldn't see me, but that's actually not true.
No, not the case at all. You're very involved. You're very hands-on with everyone.
I like to be involved in everyone's management plans. I like to approve them or make sure. And obviously, you've got some big projects that you want to work on that I'm helping you with. So it's very exciting. But you obviously began on TikTok.
Yes.
And so when did that happen? Were you a COVID baby as such?
So I was a second COVID baby. So a lot of TikTokers who are still going now and are successful now, a lot of them all started in the summer lockdown. And it's actually quite funny. So before I started doing TikTok, I was so anti-TikTok. I was like, I'm not downloading TikTok. I never want to do it. And then I downloaded it, posted like 1 or 2 videos, and it actually did, considering I had 0 followers, it did surprisingly well. And I was like, oh, this is fun. So I did technically start in the first lockdown, but I started like churning out videos in the second one when I was like, this is when I want.
So I didn't forget it was 3 waves.
Yeah, I know. Oh, it's ridiculous. It feels like a fever dream.
Wave 1 was like pure lockdown, like 3 months of killing people who lived in your house.
Yeah. Oh, cabin fever was real.
I remember how excited I'd be like, I'm going to the fucking shop today. I'm going to the supermarket.
Yeah.
And like I would like plan it with my friends that they were also shopping at the same time. So, and we would also have to be like 2 meters apart.
Yeah.
So it'd be like across the aisle, be like, hi darling.
We went on bike rides, me and my friends.
Oh, I love that.
Literally, I remember looking at my legs afterwards and I was like, they've like fucking, can we swear?
Yeah.
They've like fucking bulked up. I was like, I've got like, woo, it was great. I had like toned legs. Nothing else was toned, but because I was riding bikes all the time.
Wow.
Yeah, in lockdown, that was my.
Did you? I haven't seen you cycle on your TikTok.
I haven't probably picked up. I don't have a bike. It was the Boris bikes with the Brighton ones.
You didn't steal a bike, did
you?
I
didn't steal. Not anymore. No, I'm past that stage of my life. No, it was the Brighton Boris bikes, and they're really heavy. And obviously, Brighton, if people who don't know, it's basically like hills. Up and down hills. So it was a bit of a but that's how I kind of toned up a little bit with the bike.
No, you have got an incredible physique, I have to say. I do always say that to you. You always look pretty. Always look pretty on point.
Thank you. I really didn't used to be though. I used to be a bit of a. I think even when I first
you've come into your own style since you've met you. But I think as well that's more to do with your age and like being so. When you're young, you don't really know. You just follow the crowd. You follow Instagram and stuff.
Oh, such a sheep.
But even like now, even for me, I think I've only really found my style now, and my style is very much all black everything, and it's not that interesting to be honest. But yours is like a bit more street style.
Well, I mean, it's a bit of everything, really. So in the day, to be honest with you, I do live in jeans and a crop top. Like that is kind of my vibe. That is like my vibe. But if I'm going out, I'm very much, I want to go full glam. I've got heels on. I've got gloves. I've got everything. I'm decked out.
You look incredible.
Thank
so
you.
one of the things that you obviously, I think, made you so niche and that really blew you as a TikTok creator is the fact that you documented, you know, I guess your transition, but as many people wouldn't know, you did begin at 11. Your whole transition wasn't played out on TikTok.
No. So a lot of, people like Dylan Mulvaney, for example, you know, she started transitioning from, like, she started a video and it was like day one of being a girl. For me, I had came out before Caitlyn Jenner, before like all these huge trans people in the public eye. I did it so young and so early on, like before it was ever in the public persona of what trans is. It was no one really understood. I mean, we all knew what lady boys were and blah, 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 but no one had really understood it to be like a normal thing.
Yeah.
And now it's so normalized. I mean, it's getting more normalized, but back then it was so different and so out of the box, even though I grew up in Brighton where it's meant to be very
It's like the gay capital, they call it, isn't it?
It is, but it's also like
not.
The gays there are like the gays who come from like small towns, who like come to live in Brighton. It's not really like it's not like London where everyone's really young and
Was
fun.
your experience of coming out as trans positive? Because I think your family are very supportive of you.
Yeah.
So I think you would have a very different experience to some. But at 11 years old, did people take you seriously?
That's a good question. I think, well, my parents were great and they just said, whatever you want to do, we're behind you. I mean, you know, with whatever was in the law. So I remember being like, fly me out to Thailand. I want to get my pussy. Like I literally didn't actually say pussy, but you know what I mean? Like
I hope at 11 you didn't know the word
no,
pussy.
I didn't.
But
I didn't. Well, 11? You know what pussy means at 11?
I don't remember.
Pussycat.
Oh, like a pussy. No.
Yeah, but you know what?
No,
yeah.
Mine was mine. Sorry, say that out.
What did you call vagina when you were younger?
Nunny.
Lily. Oh,
Nunny.
nunny. I hate that word.
Little nunny.
It's nearly as bad as minge.
No, I hate that word.
I hate that word as well.
Awful. People have some really revolting words.
Oh.
I literally was I was with someone the other day and they said like the worst thing I'd ever heard in my life. They went, I just clarted someone. I was like, what does that mean? And then I found out what it meant. And I was like,
what does it mean? Punch someone. Oh, clarted in, when I remember even like you were saying clarted in the jaw means like you fucking.
No, like if you said like I just
face.
clarted her, that's what it means.
Do you know what's the worst one? You're going to die pumped.
Oh no, that is awful.
That is disgusting.
You know, only men come up with these things too.
Yeah,
like,
women don't. We just
no.
say we don't.
Could you imagine a man saying that to you?
What?
I want to pump you.
Yeah, I would block them instantly.
Anyway, sorry, off topic.
So anyway, I came out as, how did we get from like me coming out to my family to sex? Anyway, so
because it's you, Cheza.
Yeah, it's me. We're not shocked. So I came out at 11. My parents were really supportive. They just, they said, whatever you want to do, we're behind you. They told my extended family. Everyone in my family was fine. They were all very supportive. They were all great. I think at school it was different, but the good thing about where I went to school, basically I went to a primary school that was massive and like 90% of those kids all went to my secondary school. So they all knew me.
Oh, that works out quite nice.
So it was almost like if anyone said anything, even if it was negative or whatever like that, people would not necessarily stick up for me, but like, oh, that's just Reese.
Yeah.
So it was kind of easier, I think. I think if I was the only person, like no one knew me, basically, it would have been a lot more difficult. But since when I went to secondary school, I became quite popular. So that was quite easy for me.
So I was actually really cool.
No, I wasn't. But I was a fucking loser in primary school, like no friends. And then when I went to secondary school, everyone kind of wanted to be my friend.
Oh, I was a loser in junior school, secondary school, infant school, literally all of it. Like, you know, I really was not that liked.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, I had ups and downs. No, really more for them because
for
like,
them, I'm funny.
Exactly, you are and you're successful. And that's what I think of myself now. Like anyone who ever shat on me in school, not literally, but anyone who ever shat on me and like gave me abuse or whatever, now I look back and I'm like, what I'm doing right now is just proof that it doesn't matter. Like if you're cool at school, like it doesn't mean shit.
That's like the one thing. I've got a little brother and little sister, and my little sister's had like a little bit of a hard time every now and again at school. And I've always said to her, like, you know, the people at school, you know, my motivation when I first started was I'm going to show all these people at school that actually this is like your mistake. Like you're shitting on me from a great height, and actually I'm gonna be better than all of you.
Yeah.
And actually that was like probably the wrong way to think, but it got me through school.
But it also helps with that motivation as well.
But now like, you know, I couldn't give one single shit.
Yeah.
But I've said to her, like, the people, it's hard because you're in it, you feel so in it. But the people that you know at school, I speak to one person, no, two people from my, one of them's my best friend, actually both my best friends, two people from my secondary school at all. I don't speak to anyone else at all. And I have no desire to speak to them either, to be honest with you.
I mean, a lot of people now, I mean, I have obviously my best friends from home, which most of them all went to my secondary school. It's about 5 of us, and those are like my main girls. But like other people, I mean, there are some others that I'm cool with, but since leaving school, I remember I went out in Brighton for a friend's birthday the other day, and I saw this boy who picked on me like relentlessly, like bullied the fuck out of me, like horrible.
Only
he came up to me and was
because
like,
you're different. That's it.
oh,
It's because you're different.
And uncomfortable because of me and whatever. And he came up to me and was like, "You're smashing it. You're doing so well." Blah, blah, blah. I was like, "Get fucked." And I was just like, I don't want to know. Like, you were horrible to me. I really do have a way with words.
Yeah, but that must have felt good inside. But I guess that's not the reason you wanted to be successful, is to prove people wrong.
To like prove to like a shitty drug dealer that like they're right about what they say about me. No, like I don't care. I think I did have a lot of people being horrible, so that did give me a motivation to do better. But it never happened while I was at school. I never had what you had. I never had that, I'm going to be better than these people one day.
I think that's
like that.
always been like, it was not necessarily being better than people. It's more being like the best out of my whole year. Like it's a weird thing. I have just been competitive my whole life.
Same though.
And I think I've always been driven by things like that. Like I don't have a logical way of how I can describe it, but I always have known that I was going to be something. Same. I didn't know what, but I just knew I wasn't never meant to fit in.
I'm the exact same. I kind of get you on that level. I think that's probably why we get on, because we both have this kind of competitive, not with each other, but with
not with each other, but together.
No, but like together we have this like kind of like fire in our belly almost to just do the best we possibly can. Like I was like that. Like I always wanted to be someone that be successful when I was younger, and I feel like I'm kind of getting to that place now.
I think people though don't really understand the impact of bullying, how like long term, like in your whole life, that affects every decision you make. Like, you know, sometimes I've bumped into people before I went to school with, and it's just made me feel like back to that place, and I'm just like, oh
my god, the anxiety just creeps as soon as you see them again. It's like, oh my god, you were horrible to me in school, and it just creeps up, and it's horrible.
But we've come out of it.
Exactly. And we're thriving.
What age did you begin, like, you know, hormones and beginning the actual steps? Because I'm guessing at 11, that is not legal. Obviously, for anyone who doesn't know the full procedure of how the UK works, are you happy to walk us through it?
Yeah, I'll run it down. So now it's a bit different, so I'll get to that in a second. But at the time, so I was 10 or 11 when I came out as trans to my parents.
Do you think you always knew?
Yeah, I always knew I wanted to be a girl. I never looked really boyish. There's like a couple of photos of me with short hair because it really wasn't a long period of my life. Anyway, so I came out as trans. I watched this documentary on this woman called Jackie who transitioned, blah, 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 did it all the medical way. And my parents like really Googled it, like looked it up, did a lot of research. I know they're the best. And we went to my GP, firstly, when I was like 11, said, look, we want to get Reese on blockers. So blockers stop male puberty. They don't actually really have any side effects apart from the fact that it just slows down you going through puberty. Testosterone, or estrogen if you want to do it the other way. But people, like young kids, take blockers if you develop way too early, and like you need to, like, it's also for that as well. So it's not just for trans people, it mostly is, but it is.
Do you mean like if, you know, when girls develop quickly, like
if a girl develops at like 9, exactly, so you can technically go to the doctors, and I think you could go on blockers. So I started on blockers so I had to go through the GP, went to CAMS for like 2 years, went to like 1,000 fucking meetings, and then eventually when I was 13, I got put on blockers, which was just in time because I could like feel, you know, like night sweats and like not growing at pubes or anything, but like I could feel the testosterone like creeping in. So I was like nipped it just in the bud, which 13 is so young, by the way, like so young to at any age to do anything. So, you know, if it was after then, like I probably wouldn't look like this now. Maybe 14, I would have been fine. 15, no, I would have probably been at the beginning of puberty. So I wouldn't probably have this voice, or I would probably have a bit of an Adam's apple, or
I think because that's one thing that we speak about is when people comment and stuff that people are so shocked more because of your voice.
yeah, I think it's my voice, and yeah, I think my voice is the most shocking bit, because there are a lot of trans girls who like really pass or whatever, and a lot of them don't have. But it's only because I didn't go through male puberty though.
Yeah.
And it is also a luck thing. And it makes me sad sometimes when people go, oh, you're so lucky, or like one of the lucky ones. It's like, oh, like you're one of the good ones. And they kind of insult other trans people.
Yeah,
and
I
it's
don't
like,
like that.
the only reason why I'm like this is amazing supportive family, luck, and just getting in time with the
Your
NHS.
body,
And
yeah.
exactly. But now it's actually illegal to get blockers before the age of 16.
Oh, that's so unfair.
So unfair. So you can't even do it anymore, which is really
So
shit.
you can't. So you have to go through male puberty now.
You have to go through puberty.
Why is that? Is it?
There was like a court case or something like that, and there was a whole uproar that this person, I can't remember which way round they were, so I'm just gonna not use any pronouns. They said they were unhappy that they transitioned too young and like sued the place where I went to get my blockers, when really you have to like go through so many steps and have like mental checks and make sure you're okay. And they're also reversible as well. Like blockers, if you come off blockers, you will go back through puberty. The only reason I'm not on blockers anymore is because I've had the chop and I don't produce testosterone anymore.
Okay. And
So
when you mean chop, you mean you've had full
The surgery, yeah, I have my pussy
And you-
done.
And you have actually documented that on your TikTok.
Yeah.
Not obviously showing anything, but you have, you know, you answered questions about your transition and the process of it.
Yeah.
I told you, didn't I? I was literally had people at my house, and one of my friends was like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like he knew everything about you." I was like,
And
wow.
this was a straight male as well. This was
And
like
I love that. I love that.
I love that as well. And it's actually really funny because most of my followers, unlike so many, a lot of them, like a good percentage of them, like 50% of them are all men, and a lot of them are straight men, which I love because I feel like there's no prejudice there. It's just me educating people. And I do love
And I
that.
also think the people's mindsets are changing in terms of, I don't know, but you do speak about the fact that some people will either sexualize you because you're trans, or they will, say certain things and make it, a bigger issue than it is. But actually, I've always seen you as a woman because you are a woman.
Exactly.
But
people can't get that, wrap their head around it. So
I
they
don't know,
have to say something to kind of, I remember the other day, actually, I was at a function, let's say, and this guy was flirting with me, but then while he was flirting with me, he also kind of jabbed me, like not actually jabbed me, but like insulted me by saying, well, I mean, something about being a real woman, or kind of like try to like tiptoe around something. And I was just looking at him like, what are you doing? Like, no one, I'm not trying to fuck you. Like, calm down. But it really is that kind of thing. I think they think because I'm trans, and I
You're not
look a
attracted to
certain
everyone,
way.
though.
No, I'm not attracted to anyone. This is the thing.
But legally, I think we spoke about this the other day. Legally, you don't have to tell anyone, do you?
I think you do if you sleep with them.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure
But I still do anyway. I still tell them. I mean, I haven't got with anyone in a club since I was like 18. So I don't
Well,
really
that's
do
good.
that
Great to
anymore.
hear.
I don't really do that anymore. But if I'm going on a date with someone, they'll
I think
know.
as well, you're so open anyway. I think people would know. But
Well, they would find out in 2 seconds. They would search my name anywhere and it'd be like, right, Cheza or Reese Thomas trans. Do you know what I mean? Like
But
if
I
they
guess
Googled me, they would see straight away. So
But for someone who's young who is transitioning now, would you urge them to tell their partner that they want to
Yeah.
do that, or before to go too far? Because I guess you never want to get in trouble. But I think also, what advice would you give? Say a younger Reese, for anyone who's scared to tell someone they like or fancy that they are transitioning.
Well, I mean,
or transitioned.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was, I mean, when I was younger, so like when I started going out, when I was like 18, 19, I would go out and, get with guys. And I say get with, I mean kiss. I would go out and kiss guys and not tell them, little peck. And it was fine, but I would get worried just in case, blah, blah, blah. But I do know a lot of trans girls in particular who are like in relationships or like have met these guys and they just have no idea that they're trans. And for me, it's not who I am, but it's not like my only person. It's not like whatever, but it's such a huge part of my life. Like it's impacted me so much. If they wouldn't know, I'd feel like I'm not being honest. Like I wouldn't want to be with someone who wouldn't know, because I feel like I'm keeping such a big lie from them. And it's also not really fair. You have to tell people. Like I know it's so annoying. I love the whole kind of like pussy power, like we don't have to tell them. And I love that. But it's also a case of, we do need to be honest. And if you're starting off the base of relationship with a lie, then it's never going to work out. Look at me being like a fucking relationship expert, even though
that is a great answer.
But it is true. You can't start off a relationship with a lie. And then I would feel really deceived if it was me. Like if I had something like that, I'd be upset. But more because it's not even about like, it's just about not being honest.
But also as well, you feel like, you have started off in a lie, and it is down to that other person whether they're happy with that or not.
And they're always going to find out. They're always going to find out.
Makeup. This happened to Nikki Makeup, right? Do you remember? Nikki Tutorials?
Oh, Nikki Tutorials. Oh yeah, she not in a relationship way, but she was blackmailed. No, her husband knew that she was trans.
Oh, well, did he? Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
I thought that he found out at the same time.
No.
I wasn't sure on that one.
I'm pretty sure
there was a lot of rumours going around at the time when that happened of like...
That's wild.
You know, I just remember always seeing in the press something different, or she did a statement. Yeah. But people... And I thought that was pretty awful that she felt that she had to come out because of a blackmail.
Honestly though, plot twist of the motherfucking year. I remember that came out on like the 7th of January.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And it was like, this is like the biggest, like I remember everyone and their mum was just, I was gobsmacked, because we've all watched Nikki Tutorials for years. Like everyone knows Nikki Tutorials. Like she's like the blueprint of makeup. She's the GOAT. And when she came out as trans, I was like, there was something in me that made me so happy, because there were so many other trans people that I look up to, but to someone who I look up to just for being talented. And I looked and I was like, she was like, I'm trans. I was like, oh my God. Like I loved it. I was so excited for her. And even though it was such a shitty scenario, the way she had to come out, I think the love she got was so big. So.
Yeah, but it's so upsetting she felt like she had to do that. And I think, I don't think for me it really changed anything. I didn't see her any different.
No.
And I don't believe that her community really felt much different about it. I think...
Well, she is lucky because most of her following are LGBT people. They are the gays. They are the trans girls. So they're obviously going to embrace them. But they're not going to be like redneck kind of like anti-gay people. Can I say that?
Redneck.
Redneck?
Yeah, I think that's somewhere like it's like deep south.
Yeah.
Deep south of America.
Deep south of America.
Yeah.
Love deep south.
Deep south. Is being a role model in your community something that you aim to be? I believe you're already kind of there, but is that an important thing for you?
Yeah, but not in every aspect. I mean, I love the fact that, people come up to me and they say, oh, thank you so much for like educating me. Like you've helped me so much. And I get amazing messages and that's so great. And I love that. I love that I can give people whatever advice I can. It doesn't mean that it's always the right advice. I mean, I try to I don't try to be really controversial with what I say, especially about being trans.
I think you're very just tell your truth, because I think you can't speak for the whole trans community because everyone's experience is different.
Of course.
And I think you're very good at making sure people are aware that this is your experience only.
Yes, 100%.
And I think that is important.
Well, from, surgeries and the medical side of it, I know my shit very well. And with my coming out and everything to do with my transition, but again, I say it's my transition. It's not a transition. Everyone's transition is different, like you just said. So I do like the fact that I can help younger, trans people to give them a little stepping stone. Because that's what I had when I was younger. I used to watch Gigi Gorgeous and, well, just mainly Gigi Gorgeous and some other people.
Gigi Gorgeous.
Gigi Gorgeous. But like, she helped me so much with my transition. I learned so much from her. And I hopefully because there's not a lot of people doing what I'm doing in that kind of sense. There's only a couple trans people who have had the op who are speaking about it, and I'm so open. But I like to be open.
Even like on nights out, you're very open.
I'm very open.
Very open.
But I'm also open in a way of like, it's coming from a place of love. I'm not spilling my whole like dirt. I'm not airing my dirty laundry out there. It's not my dirty laundry. It's my clean laundry. Like it's it's what I want people to know.
I love when you speak about the things that people say to you, that you kind of say things that people say to me that is not acceptable to say to a trans person.
Yeah.
And I think that's great because you're actually educating the straight community.
In a comedic way.
But in a way that isn't patronizing, isn't making people like shit. Yeah, it is very much like, it's funny, but it's also a case of it's just ignorant. And I feel like you're someone who's always sort of said, I get it, because you may not have met someone who's trans and whatever, but this is realistically how you should go about it. And we as a community would appreciate if you didn't say shit.
Exactly. Because I think when people, I mean, I get the aggression and I get the anger that people get 100%. I think I'm quite patient. And I get that people get aggressive about it because it's so fair and like we're all fucking fed up of it, which I totally understand. But when people see that, people hear you, they don't listen to you. They just hear you're shouting. They don't actually listen to what the words you're saying. Right, I got there. Fucking hell. But that's the thing. With me, I'm very calm. But I mean, I also like, if people are fucking rude, I'll like give it back to them. Like, make no mistake. Like, if you want to have an argument, like, let's go, babe. But I also, at the beginning, if you're nice and respectful, then people are like, I get it. Obviously, that's not what I want to do all the time, but that's why I make videos. I'm not on live stream every day talking about it. I'm making my videos when I'm calm, when I want to do it, and I post when I'm feeling good. When I'm feeling shit and having a fucking meltdown, I'm not like doing a video because that's not me at all. I'm not getting emotional on TikTok. At one time I did, and that was about spiking, but I'm not.
But that's completely different, isn't it?
Not my thing.
Since you have been a digital creator and smashing it, what is your personal biggest achievement?
There's a couple. I think going on Joe Lycett, that was years ago. That was even before this. Do you know what? Actually joining HRD was a big thing as well. Not to suck up to you too much. But that was nice, the thing. Though. I remember like knowing who you were from Grace and stuff for a long time. So that was really cool. Some of the trips I've got to go on, some of the oh my god, E4 obviously landing E4. The face of E4, that was fucking
You're
massive.
The face of E4,
one of them. Yeah, that was really cool.
That is pretty. I remember hearing about that and I was like, wow, that is incredible. Yeah,
really cool. There's loads of different things.
A show, and you've got something coming up which we'll come back to because it will kind of loop on to my second to last question.
Yeah. No, I'm really excited about that. There's something in the next month, which I am. Oh, literally, I was speaking to another person who's going yesterday because I was with him, and we were just looking at each other like. And he's a huge creator, and he was looking, and he's been on like every trip in the world, and he was like, "This is fucking major that we're going on this trip."
I know who it is.
Yeah.
I thought I did.
And we were speaking about it. He was like, "Babe," it was Max Belegden, and he was like, "How?" I
thought it was a secret.
I was like, "Babe, how fucking mad is it? We're going New York." Say it.
Yeah, just say it. Why not?
We're going to New York basically for New York Pride. And he was like, "Babe, it's fucking crazy." And I was like, "No, I can't believe it." I'm so excited.
That was your achievements are our achievements, and we're very proud of those things that you're doing. But TikTok, you love, obviously it's a massive part of who you are now. You have a lot of friends from TikTok. Would you say there is a TikTok cliques as per se?
Oh my god, 100% TikTok clique. I think for me personally though, like not trying to like be too cool for school, I really couldn't give a shit. Like I don't care. I'm really in my own. I'm not saying I'm in my own lane, but I'm also kind of just like, I'm Cheza. I'll rock up, and I'll just be me, and be
you'll
like,
be friends with anyone.
I'll be friends with anyone. I'm very friendly and very nice. I'm not into the whole kind of. It's not my vibe. I'm not my vibe. I'm here to chill. I have a drink. I have a laugh with you, and then I'll go home. Do you know what I mean? I like there are a couple people in the industry who I would consider like really good friends,
like friends outside of TikTok.
Yeah, I would say people like Mason and Joe and fucking Belle. You know what I mean? Those are my people. Like those are people who I really speak to all the time. And there's some others as well who I do like really get on with and really like, but
they're the people that you actually hang out with.
Yeah, I mean, especially like Belle. Like that's one of my best friends. We speak every single day. We FaceTime all the time.
That's Belle Priestley.
Yeah, Belle Priestley. But again, she's also a trans girl. Like we have that so much in common.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I guess as well. Like maybe that remove all the maybe stuff. I think when you have something in common with people, anyway, like I really get on with people who run businesses because we get each other.
Yeah, and there is more, by the way. Sorry, I just forgot to. I'm not fucking naming all my friends on TikTok. So that's actually really embarrassing.
But you know what I mean. It's something you two have a common bond of the fact that you both were going through similar experiences and similar stories, and I think that's really nice.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
Like a confidant.
No, it really is. I mean, there's not a lot of trans TikTokers out there who are like successful. So me and her, as a couple others. Like a couple, others who are doing well, but obviously, we're similar in age. I'm a bit older than her. I feel like I've helped her a little bit with like trans stuff, but she's also helped me with industry stuff. Like we've both kind of like
Helped
scratched
each
each other's
other.
back, and she's a really good friend. And no, it's nice to have someone like that in the industry who you can trust. Well. But it is cliquey. But I think people get really bothered by the cliquiness. I think some people get really uptight and like, oh, it's so cliquey, it's so cliquey. It's like, why do you care? Like we're all like, this isn't school. We're posting and doing our thing and getting our bread and going home. Like go to the event, have fun. If you don't like the cliquiness or something, then I mean, that's the industry, unfortunately. That is, I mean, if you want to be successful and big in the world, you are going to have to deal with cliquiness and hierarchy and blah, 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 blah. That is what the TV world is like. That is what the industry world is like. TikTok is just a tiny little amoeba of what it is going to be.
It's the first steps into that world. So
exactly.
You can really
if you can't handle it, like...
They say you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen.
Fucking right.
I guess we'll come back to... We'll change up the questions then. But... You know, for pride means obviously so much to you. We've spoken about what pride means to you before privately, for your own projects you've got coming up. But what, for anyone watching, what does pride mean to you, and why is it so important that we celebrate pride and that you kind of urge the straight community to get more involved and celebrate, the LGBTQ plus community?
Right, that's like 7 different answers, but I'm going to try and make it into one. Firstly, pride means to me quite simply just being yourself and embracing who you are. I think it's just about loving yourself, loving the people around you. If you're queer, if you're not, embracing people that maybe in your life who you've seen who are a bit different, who are not the same as everyone else, who are the outcasts, embracing those people, embracing the different people in our lives. Obviously, it's about, LGBT pride, so embracing our fantastic community that we've built. And if it wasn't for the gays, I mean, nothing would be here right now. We'd all be looking like shit. If it wasn't for the gays, we'd all be fucked.
My favourite...
So that's when it annoys me when straight women have a go at like homophobic, because like, babe, you wouldn't be able to like buy that fake tan you're wearing right now or wear those fucking shitty extensions if it wasn't for a gay man. So take several seats. One
of my favourite memes that always gets reposted around pride is like someone holding a billboard that says, "If God hates gays, why are we so cute?"
Right?
And it's so true.
Yeah, no, but it is true though. It is true.
Do you wish that more straight people got involved with pride, or do you?
Yeah, I do. I think that the problem is with social media and the whole kind of social media community as a whole is that we like to jump on the trends.
Yeah.
And, sometimes it can make a really good, amazing impact. But I feel like with pride, it's very much, I do not see a lot of cis straight people talking about it that much. I actually remember when something really bad happened in the trans community, and I remember being fucking fuming and no one was posting about it. And I literally posted on my Instagram story, would really appreciate to see other people posting this. And I remember as soon as I posted that, I had like 12 different creators all like reshare that post. So it's important. I think sometimes we need to be, I think I would like straight people to get involved a little bit more, especially I think we probably need to understand or have an educational something about the queer community and how much they've done for everyone. Yeah. Because, a lot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've done a lot for everyone and it's important. I think straight people should get more involved.
Well, Cheza, thank you so much for coming on. I feel like this has been so insightful for so many people, and I really enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed it too. And I've really, really enjoyed your answer. I think you are incredible.
Thank you. I think you're incredible too. Cheers to us.
Oh, cheers to us. There's nothing in my cup anymore. But
oh, okay. I'll just drink my tea.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Managed. If you loved watching, please make sure you're following us so you can receive updates on our next episode. I'll see you next week.